Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We've been covering a lot of Warzone ever since it dropped, and frankly, in that time since, multiplayer just hasn't seen a whole lot of content, right? However, that all changed with Season 3, as we did get some brand new multiplayer maps, and, more importantly, some new weapons, which, of course, you can get a whole lot more use out of in multiplayer compared to Warzone. So, per usual with each new season, today we're breaking down the top 10 weapons and class setups to use for Season 3. So, if you enjoy the video at any point, or if you just find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you are new to the channel, we are always covering the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, class setups, you name it, you're gonna find it right here on the channel. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of that. Anyways, getting right into the classes for today, we're counting down number 10 to number 1, and we're starting off with the Renetti as sort of an honorable mention, but it is also in the 10 spots because this thing is an absolute beast once you rank it up. It is very similar to that of the M9, and once you do rank it up, the M93 Raffica from MW2 is essentially what we're getting here because it can be turned into a burst pistol, which is really exactly what you want to do. Now, the perks and equipment and secondaries on my multiplayer classes stay the exact same on everything. And now with the addition of the Renetti, this is 100% going to be my go-to secondary moving forward on all my setups. So on the Renetti, I'm rocking the Desperado Pro Compensator, the MK3 Burst Mod Barrel, and that's probably the most important attachment for the Renetti in general. And then I also have the lightweight trigger, the 27 round mags, and the XRK speed grip as well. And honestly, this is a setup that'll have you shocked that this thing is indeed a pistol. You know, it's like a consistent 2 to 3 burst. Occasionally, you'll even get a 1 burst if you are hitting some headshots. I mean, the thing is just downright nasty. And really, I fully expect a nerf will happen in the future that sort of lessens the blow that the Renetti deals, because right now, good grief, this thing is spicy. As I said, I use this on all of my setups now for my secondary, and for the time being, I would definitely consider it to be a top 10 weapon in multiplayer. Now, as far as my perks go, here things are very different from Warzone. I've got EOD to protect against nade spam, Restock to get more stims and C4, and also Shrapnel to double up on that equipment, which, as I just mentioned, is C4 for the lethal, and then also Stim for the tactical. And we won't repeat that stuff for each class as, like I said, it is the same on all of them. Now, coming in at number 9, I've got the Model 680. And really, this would not be here if it weren't for the ammo upgrade that it got a few weeks back, as Dragon's Breath or Incendiary rounds were added into the game. Now, I will just go out and say it. I do not promote this class, I do not like this class. If I die to a fire shotgun, honestly, I'm not going to be very happy. You know, I cannot stand running into them, but in the interest of information without bias, the Model 680 can be a top 10 weapon with the right attachments. So getting into said attachments, I've got the Sport Barrel to increase the range, the 5mW laser for better accuracy, the no stock option to increase the movement speed, the standard Dragon's Breath rounds, that way I can have more customization on my setup all around, and finally, sleight of hand so I can reload a little bit faster. Once again though, this is an extremely toxic setup, right? You know, it really is as simple as that, but it does deal some pretty heavy damage up close, and the incendiary rounds allow you to use it at more of a range as well. And even if it's not a one-shot in certain situations, it can still take players out because of that burning effect, I guess, that lasts after you get a hit marker. Then, coming in at the number 8 spot for Season 3, I've got the AUG. And this is sort of your standard SMG. It's pretty solid in general. You know, it's got good range even without being converted into an assault rifle. And it's also very versatile, all things considered. It's got good range, good speed, and it's very decent, I guess you could say. So here, we've got the extended barrel for better range, the tac laser for some more mobility, the comb stock for better speed as well, the Merc foregrip for some recoil control, and also the grip tape that is stippled to close things out for this one. Honestly, there's not a whole lot I gotta say here, other than the AUG is a great choice for some lower level setups, or for playing on some more close and medium range maps, because it's got a great TTK and a great mobility stat too. So ultimately, it's going to excel the most when rushing around or when holding down those CQC areas. Now at number 7, I've got what has to be my personal favorite weapon in multiplayer, that of course being the BIZON. You know, this thing is just a rusher's best friend, basically. It's got all the ammo in the world, even in its stock form. It's got very minimal recoil, okay damage, but when you just go all in and constantly rush with the BIZON, it's going to pay off because it completely dominates close range engagements. In Warzone, my favorite weapon is definitely the GRAU, but here in multiplayer, the BIZON gets all the love because it fits an aggressive playstyle like no other weapon can. So I like to use the monolithic suppressor for the added range, the steel barrel for more of the same, the tac laser for better mobility, no stock for better mobility, and the stippy grippy as well to really cap out the overall speed of the weapon. And if you haven't given this class a try, I definitely recommend you change that here in Season 3. At number 6, I've got the MP7, yet another great SMG, and also one of the most surprising as well. And I say that because out of all the SMGs, maybe with the exception of the AUG with the 5.56 rounds, the MP7's range is pretty good in my opinion. You know, it's got low recoil, the faster fire rate means it's going to be great up close, and in those medium and even those long range fights, it can certainly hold its own consistently. Now, my class here consists of the monolithic suppressor, but you could also run the recon barrel as well. Either one will ultimately end up extending the range, and that's what you want to see. Then I've got the tac laser once again, no stock, the Merc foregrip, and also the stippled grip tape per usual. All of which is going to enhance both the speed and also the range, making the MP7 even stronger in, honestly, any type of gunfight. Now at number 5, we have the other Season 3 DLC weapon, the SKS, which in Warzone, truthfully felt kind of lackluster to me, but in multiplayer, this thing brings the heat. It is a 2 to 3 shot kill at most ranges, and it is also a 1 shot to the head, making it the perfect rifle for more accurate players. And because it's got that faster fire rate, you can sort of spam it, meaning even though it is semi-auto, it can be pretty effective in close range fights, on top of being very solid for medium and long range engagements too. So on the SKS, I use the monolithic suppressor, the M59/66 barrel to extend the range, the tac laser for stability here since I don't use any sort of optic, and so that helps more in those longer range fights. And then I do also use the sawed-off stock and the focus perk to round things out here. So all around, that's going to make the SKS better at a distance and also increase the control and the speed too, turning this thing into, honestly, what very well may be the best marksman rifle in the entire game. Anyways, moving on, at number 4 I have the M13, which is a great AR to use for a more aggressive playstyle, as this one really shines in those close and medium range fights. It's got a faster fire rate, so it's going to melt up close, and it is also a bit more agile than some of the other rifles, so that does help as well. Now on it, I like to use the compensator for some recoil control, the marksman barrel for better range, the GI mini reflex, that's just personal preference there, the skeleton stock for better mobility, and the stippy grippy yet again. Then at number 3, I've got my second favorite multiplayer weapon, and that of course is the GRAU 5.56. This thing is a beast in all types of engagements. It's got good damage, good speed, good control, and it is certainly a top weapon in my mind for both multiplayer and Warzone 2. And conveniently enough, I use the exact same class in both modes. That features the monolithic suppressor, the Nexus barrel, no stock, the commando foregrip, and the 50 round mags, which, when combined, really help with the range and overall control, while not hindering the speed too much, which still allows it to be very effective while running around. Now at the number 2 spot, I've got the M4A1, and honestly that's no surprise there, right? The M4A1 has been a top 2 weapon in the game really ever since it launched, and that still stands true here in Season 3. So I'm rocking the Corvus custom barrel, the GI mini reflex, no stock, which, yes, looks very goofy, but it is certainly useful, the commando foregrip, and also the grip tape of the stippled nature once more. Now, of course, to the surprise of probably no one, the number 1 weapon in all of multiplayer right now is in fact the MP5. Between this and the M4A1, the meta hasn't really changed all that much since the game released, and the MP5 is the number 1 choice of most pros and a lot of the other top tier players when it comes to the most consistent weapon to use. So this is basically the number 1 setup in the entire game, and it's comprised of the Merc foregrip, the 10mm 30-round mags, the Stippy Grippy, sleight of hand, and the collapsible stock, which all help a lot with the speed of the MP5, making it fantastic for playing more aggressive, and the range is also bumped up some as well. So, with all of that being said, those are the top 10 classes and weapons for multiplayer here in Season 3, and that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, or if you just found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you are new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, leaks, and everything in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL on all Scuff, G Fuel, Control Freak, and Respawn products. All of those links can be found in the description below, and once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.